Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Xtreme Flyways. This week we're at the clubhouse again. It's 3 weeks before hunting season, and we're going to talk about decoy strategy and how to make you more of a successful duck hunter. We're also going to be talking to the youth waterfowlers and why they're so important to us. Hold on to everything you got. We're going extreme.
Kill one, kill one, kill one, kill one.
Your decoy strategy will not work for you day in and day out. You're going to have to change it up, I guarantee you, 100 times throughout the year. It may be 2 hours into the hunt, it may be 2 days into the week. If you keep hunting, I guarantee you, to be successful, you will have to change your decoy strategy up.
The first thing I'm thinking about when I grab them decoys out of the boat is which way is the wind going to be blowing today? Because that is, very, very important on how your success is going to be and how your shots are going to be. I always want the wind blowing in my back.
To me, wind is a crucial thing to talk about. I'm a versatile hunter. I can shoot a duck from any direction that it comes in. But what I cannot do while I'm out there in the field, I cannot make wind happen. So in my decoy spread, I will always have some kind of a motion duck decoy or a jerk string or a pulsator or something to make movement on that water. And if you don't have movement on that water, all you got a bunch of daggone turds sitting in a punch bowl and it ain't going nowhere.
I like to do a J-hook on one side and maybe like a little box on the other end. And I always like decoys close up to the blind and maybe a few scattered out on the sides.
You know, the most important thing that I think of in decoy strategy, and I have to agree with everybody, obviously is wind direction. I will not ever go hunting without the wind at my back or off my left back shoulder, right back shoulder. You never want the ducks to land over your head. Why? Because when you're calling at them, a duck actually turns its head sideways to look down. Well, if you're calling when they're coming over your head real low to land, they're going to look right in the blind. They've pinpointed you, and more than likely, you're never going to get a shot. All right, now obviously we're here at the whiteboard. As you can tell, I've got a little box here at the top that stands for the blind. There are 3 different styles of decoy spreads that we actually use a lot. And the first one is a J-hook. When do I want to use the J-hook? Well, the J-hook is usually when I'm hunting a wind that's to the right or to the left, and I'll show you why. If I'm putting decoys out, I want to put them in the formation of a J. With the majority of the decoys back here on the back end as a backstop. Why? Because as these ducks come into land, the majority of the decoys are here, and there is a highway line here that guides them right into the hole. All right, one of the second strategies that we use is what we call the horseshoe, or the U, if you will. Now, this strategy takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 9 dozen decoys, depending on where you're hunting at. This strategy is used a lot in rice fields or very open areas, rivers, lakes, doesn't matter. Basically what it is obviously you see the blind here. We set our decoys up in a U or a horseshoe. With the majority of the decoys on the top and bottom thirds. The reason is because the wind is usually at our back, like so, and these ducks, no matter how they circle out here, will come and they'll land right in front of your face. This is the U method. It's very, very popular. Now, the last method that we here at Hunters 247 Waterfowl use is called the W. Now, I know these are all letters to help you understand, but it's easy to help you figure out how to place your decoys in winds. Now, this method takes literally 8 to 12 dozen decoys, and it's only used in large open areas. That means if you're hunting in flooded timber or real tight locations, this method is not right, but this is how it works. It's just simple W. Decoys are set in front of the blind with your thin lines being in the middle. Now, what this gives you is 3 optional landing zones for these ducks. The wind can be coming from this direction, or this direction. These birds will land in here or in here, and sometimes they'll even land in here, just depending on which way the wind's blowing. This method is very popular in large open rice fields, humongous bodies of water. This method I love the most.
One of the first things I do as soon as I get me a brand new set of decoys is I try to scuff them up a little bit, make them dull, because you don't need to go out there duck hunting with a brand new shiny diamond. I mean, I think it stands out, and I ain't never seen a duck shine while he's sitting on the water. I just haven't done it.
Roy said he never seen a duck shine. Man, he must be going blind is all I got to say, because ducks, they got the most brightly colored bird I think there is. I mean, the mallard drake's head, that green glistening, I mean, it just takes your breath away. It's so bright. I mean, I just don't understand.
You know, I just heard Roy say, I think I just heard him say that he's never seen a duck shine on the water. Well, we've obviously already put together that Roy is deaf because he has to turn his right ear to you so they can hear you. But now we've established that he's going blind because every duck that I've ever seen land on the water, the glisten off their head and off their tail is unprecedented. It's unparalleled. You can see that bird for miles away sitting on the water, it seems like. Roy, you're saying you can't see him? You need some glasses, son.
Say you're one of those hunters that's been out there hunting with the same decoys for the last, say, 15 years. You'd be very surprised what a little paint and a little time will do, because those ducks in the air, they notice every little detail about your spread, I promise you.
The first thing whenever I'm going out to buy a decoy, the first thing I want to look at is the realism of the decoy. I want to have a weighted kill, and I want that duck to look as real as it possibly can.
You got to have way to kill, or when you throw them out, your decoy's not going to sit right. And I look to see where the hole is on the bottom of the keel, so to make sure that it can be rigged up for the rig 'em right system or the Texas rig.
Texas style rigging is the way to go. The old days of putting a line and a rope and a weight on the end of your decoy and wrapping it around the head or the keel, it's outdated. For the simple fact of, how many times can you remember that you've been out in the middle of a duck hole trying to throw your decoys out and you spend 2 hours untying knots? Those days are over. Texas rigging with the hard wire, the clips, and the weights is the only way to set your decoys up.
We're all the time moving our decoys, so the Texas system is the way to go.
All right, here I am standing with the Texas rig system. See this tangled up mess right here? This is why we're going to this. We're doing away with this. Straighten all your decoys up like this. Take it all the way down to the bottom, as far down as you can go. And tie you a knot. It's very simple to do. And come up with it. There you go. You can throw dozens of these in a boat and you're ready to go. And I'm going to show you how to rig a decoy up Texas rig 'em style. All right, here I got 0.080 diameter of weed eater string, cut to the exact length I need. All right, I'm going to take the line, run it through the keel, and I'm going to make a loop on one end of it. All right, to make our loop, we're going to run it through the crimp, come back around, and make you a loop. This is really easy. And you want to stop just a little short of that crimp where that line, excess line, don't catch on the other decoys. And take one end of it and crimp it with all you got. All right, I'm going to take my line, I'm going to go through the crimp, and then through the weight, and then come back around to the crimp. And you want to make this as short as possible where you ain't got a whole lot of excess here. So bring it down just a little bit, which is I'm doing right here. All right, and remember you don't want no excess there because it'll catch on your other lines. And I'm going to take and I'm going to crimp it on both ends with all you got. Really crimp it good. Now this is Texas rig 'em. The only way to rig your decoys, anybody can do it, even you. We're good to go.
One of the things we do is we make our own decoy weights. We're getting away from the flat strap weights that goes around their necks, or your kill weights, or even just a weight that you just made up on your own. What we are doing here today is we're melting lead and then making our mold for a Texas rig 'em right system. Now this is your finished product. We like this style because it lets your decoy string slide through there very easily, and we have found that 3-ounce weights will hold your decoys in place, and you don't need no more weight than what you're using right here. Even in hard winds, a 3-ounce weight will hold that decoy in place.
You know, one of the things that we're talking about as we wind down this episode is how important it is to take your kids duck hunting this fall.
Yes, I couldn't imagine going duck hunting and not sharing a blind with the kids.
Yeah, because I love to shoot my Beretta.
Yep, he loves to shoot his Beretta. And before too long, you know they're going to be asking you,
Daddy, when are we going duck hunting?
Daddy, when we going duck hunting? As a father and as a mother, I want to encourage you to take your children duck hunting this fall. Now that was a good episode. Decoy strategy. It's essential in being a successful duck hunter. And the kids, how can you not like taking kids to the duck blind? Now listen, I want you to join us next week as we talk about the checklist of everything we go through as a pro staff before duck season starts. Until we see you again, this is Xtreme Flyways.